He wasn't the loudest kid, not the smartest either, but every time his parents fought, he quietly blamed himself. He thought, maybe I'm the reason this family is breaking, and the worst part, no one ever told him he was wrong. His name was Ethan Carter, a quiet boy, not the kind people notice. The kind who sits in the corner of the classroom hoping no one calls his name. He wasn't loud, he wasn't confident, he was sensitive. The kind of child who feels everything a little too deeply. A simple tone change in someone's voice could ruin his entire day. A small mistake could stay in his mind for weeks. While other kids laughed freely, Ethan was busy overthinking. Did I say something wrong? Why did the teacher look at me like that? Why do I feel like I'm never enough? His mind never stayed quiet. It was always full of doubts, of fear, of invisible pressure no one could see. Teachers looked at him and sighed, he's just lazy. But they never saw the truth. They never saw how his hands slightly trembled when he tried to focus, how he read the same sentence 5 times and still couldn't understand it, how his chest felt tight every time he failed to keep up. His books were always open, pages filled with words, but his mind was somewhere else. Not wandering, drowning in thoughts he didn't know how to control, drowning in emotions he didn't know how to explain. And the worst part? No one asked him what was wrong. No one noticed that he wasn't lazy, he was overwhelmed. And slowly, he was losing himself in silence. School wasn't just hard for Ethan, it felt like a place where he was constantly being measured and found lacking. Every test paper, every red mark, every corrected mistake felt heavier than it should. Not because the questions were impossible, but because his mind never gave him peace. He would sit there, staring at the paper, knowing he had studied, but suddenly, everything felt blank. Like his thoughts were running, but none of them were helping him. The ticking clock didn't just count time, it made his heart race faster. And when others started writing quickly, his hands would freeze. Doubt crept in. What if I fail again? What if everyone realizes I'm not good enough? So he'd hesitate, overthink, second-guess every answer until time ran out. Again, and then came the worst part, the looks. Teachers shaking their heads, classmates moving ahead, and that silent feeling you're falling behind. But school was only half the battle. At home, things were even louder. His father, Daniel, wasn't a bad man, but he carried stress like fire, and it burned everything around him. Small things turned into arguments. Small mistakes turned into shouting, and Ethan heard it all, every raised voice. Every frustrated word, every moment of tension. Even when no one blamed him directly, he felt it anyway, because in his mind, everything connected. Bad grades, father's anger, mother's silence. And slowly, a dangerous thought took root. Maybe I'm the reason this house feels like this. It didn't come all at once. It built quietly with every failure, with every argument. Until one day, he didn't just feel like he was struggling, he felt like he was the problem. And that belief started breaking him from the inside. That night, everything felt normal, too normal. The kind of silence that doesn't feel peaceful, it feels like something is about to go wrong. Ethan was lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. Sleep didn't come easily to him anymore. His mind was replaying everything: school, mistakes, his father's voice, over and over and over again. And then, a sudden loud noise, a sharp sound like something hitting the counter. Ethan's eyes snapped open. His heart started pounding instantly. Then came the voices, not normal talking, raised voices, heavy voices, breaking voices, his parents, arguing again, but this time it felt worse, louder than usual, angrier than usual. Ethan sat up slowly, his hands felt cold, his chest felt tight. For a moment he didn't move. Maybe it'll stop, but it didn't. The shouting grew sharper, each word hitting harder than the last. He got out of bed quietly, barefoot. Step by step toward the sound, the kitchen light was on, and then he saw them. His father Daniel pacing aggressively, his mother Sarah standing still trying to hold herself together, voices clashing, emotions spilling. Ethan froze at the doorway. He didn't understand every word, but he understood the feeling. Anger, frustration, pain, and somehow guilt. His heart whispered something he couldn't control. This is happening because of me. His breathing got heavier. His eyes filled with fear, that same fear he had felt before, but tonight it was deeper. Suddenly, Sarah noticed him. Her expression changed instantly. She wiped her tears quickly, forced a soft smile, and walked toward him. Hey, it's okay." Her voice was gentle, but her eyes were tired, broken. She placed her hand on his face. "Nothing happened, sweetheart, go back to sleep." Nothing happened, those words echoed in his mind. But Ethan wasn't a child who could ignore things. He felt everything, and what he felt right now was, this house is not okay. He nodded slowly, but his feet felt heavy as he turned back. That night, he didn't sleep. He just lay there, staring into the dark, listening to the silence that followed, a silence that felt even louder than the fight. And deep inside, something shifted. The guilt grew stronger, the fear grew deeper, and the belief became clearer. I'm the reason this is happening. Morning came, but nothing felt new. No fresh start, no relief, just a quiet heaviness sitting in the air. Ethan walked to the kitchen slowly. The same place where everything fell apart last night, but today it looked normal. Too normal? His mother, Sarah, was making breakfast. His father, Daniel, sat at the table scrolling on his phone. No shouting, no anger, just silence. But not peaceful silence, the kind that hides everything. Ethan sat down quietly. His little sister, Lily, tried to smile, "Good morning," but even her voice felt unsure. Plates were passed. Food was served. Everything looked perfect, except no one was really there. Ethan picked up his fork, then slowly put it back down. His appetite was gone, not because he wasn't hungry, but because his chest felt too tight to eat. His mother noticed immediately. She always did. "Ethan, you didn't eat anything." Her voice was soft, careful, like she was trying not to break something already fragile. Before Ethan could respond, Lily spoke. "Why is everyone so quiet today?" The question hung in the air, heavy. Unavoidable. For a moment, no one answered. Then Daniel finally said, without looking up, "Nothing's wrong, just eat." His tone wasn't loud, but it wasn't warm either. Ethan's fingers tightened slightly. That one sentence made everything feel worse, because pretending nothing happened hurt more than the fight itself. Ethan swallowed hard. His voice came out weak. "I'm not feeling well." A small lie, but easier than the truth. Because how could he say, "I feel like I'm the reason this family is falling apart"? He stood up slowly, chair scraping lightly against the floor. No one stopped him, and somehow that hurt the most. He walked back to his room, each step heavier than the last. Behind him, the table remained the same, 4 people, one family, but completely disconnected. Ethan closed the door behind him, and for a moment, everything went silent. No voices, no footsteps, just him and the weight inside his chest. He sat on the edge of his bed, trying to hold it together, trying to stay strong. The way he always did, but this time he couldn't. His hands started shaking, his breathing got heavier, and then he broke. Tears fell fast, uncontrollably, not just from last night, but from everything, every failure, every doubt. Every moment he felt not enough. Every time he blamed himself for things he never caused. A knock on the door, soft, careful, it opened slowly. His mother, Sarah, stepped in. She didn't say anything at first. She just saw him, and her heart sank, because she realized this wasn't just sadness. This was pain he had been hiding for a long time. She rushed to him, sat beside him, and held him tightly. Moments later, Lily came in too, quietly sitting next to her brother. Ethan tried to wipe his tears, but they wouldn't stop. And then, in a broken voice, he finally said it. "Is it my fault?" A pause. His voice cracked even more. "Are you and Dad fighting because of me?" Time froze. Sarah's eyes filled instantly. That question cut deeper than anything, because now she understood her son wasn't just hurting, he was blaming himself for everything. She held his face gently, looked straight into his eyes, and said firmly, "No, Ethan, never." Her voice trembled, but her words were strong. "You are not the reason for our problems." Lily held his hand tightly. "You're the best brother ever. You always care about everyone." Sarah wiped his tears. "You are kind." You are good, you are enough, and none of this is your fault. Ethan's crying softened, but his pain was still there. Because when a child believes something for too long, it doesn't disappear in a moment. But still, for the first time, someone said the words he needed to hear, the words that could start healing him. But they didn't know they weren't the only ones in that moment. Outside the door, standing completely still, was Daniel. He had heard everything, every word, every tear, every truth, and for the first time in a long time, he wasn't angry, he wasn't defensive. He was shattered because he finally realized his son wasn't just struggling, he was suffering silently. Outside the door, Daniel stood frozen, his hand still on the handle, but he couldn't move because everything he just heard shattered something inside him. His son, the boy he thought was just weak, just not trying hard enough, was blaming himself for everything. Daniel's breathing got heavy, memories started hitting him every time he raised his voice. Every time he showed frustration, every time he ignored Ethan's silence, moments he thought were small had become scars in his son's heart. And now he couldn't undo them. A tear rolled down his cheek, slow, heavy, real. For the first time he saw himself clearly, not as a father trying his best, but as a man who had unknowingly hurt his own child. Inside the room, Ethan was still sitting there, quiet, fragile, trying to hold himself together. Daniel slowly opened the door. The sound made everyone look up. For a moment, no one spoke. Ethan's eyes met his father's, and fear flashed instantly. That same fear he had carried for so long, but this time something was different. Daniel wasn't angry, he looked broken, completely broken. He walked in slowly, each step heavy with regret. He stopped in front of Ethan, but words didn't come out, because sometimes guilt is too big for words. And then he did something he hadn't done in years. He pulled Ethan into a tight hug. Suddenly, strongly, like he was afraid to lose him. Ethan froze at first, not used to this, not used to softness. But then he broke down, crying into his father's chest. The kind of crying that had been building for months. Daniel's voice cracked. "I'm sorry, son." A pause. He held him tighter. "I didn't see your pain, I didn't understand you, and I made you feel like you were the problem." His voice broke completely. "But you're not, you never were." Tears fell freely now. Not just Ethan's, but Daniel's too. He turned to Sarah, eyes filled with regret. "I'm sorry for the shouting, the anger, the damage I caused." The room filled with silence again, but this time it wasn't heavy, it was healing. Lily slowly wrapped her arms around them, and in that moment, the broken pieces of the family started coming back together. No perfect words, no perfect people, just real emotions, real regret, and a real chance to change. Some children are not too sensitive. They are just deeply feeling. They notice everything, they absorb everything, they blame themselves for things they don't understand. And when you shout at them, ignore them, or make them feel like a burden, they don't fight back, they don't complain, they just break inside, silently. So if you have a sensitive child in your life, don't harden them. Don't silence them, don't punish them for feeling too much. Instead, understand them. Protect them, love them gently, because the truth is the quietest child is often fighting the loudest battle. And if you're not careful, you won't hear them breaking until it's too late.
This story made you feel something? Doesn't scroll away. Subscribe to Hidden Tear for more emotional stories that stay with you long after the end. Because sometimes the deepest tears are the ones no one sees. Turn on notifications. You never know when the next story will break your heart again.